Hey buddy, watch this.
Hello, Regis Kilbin is the name, and Hearthstone is the game, and this is the Advice Arena, where I give you advice on playing Arena. Starting a new run today, and this time around we will be choosing Mage as our class. It's one of the better Arena classes, and we've played the others recently, so why not go ahead and take Mage this time around. Okay, so let's jump right into the draft. Up first, we're getting an epic, which is pretty nice instead of the usual rare. Cyclopean Horror is an interesting new Old Gods card. 4 mana, 3/3. It does have Taunt, and a Battlecry gain +1 health for each enemy minion. So there are worlds where this is a 3/5 or a 3/6 or a 3/7. Unfortunately, the attack does always stay the same. So this card's really only good when you're really far behind, and it probably doesn't even trade that well. So, you know, anything with 4 or more health will still be there after you play Cyclopean Horror. So I think it's just a little bit too slow. Dark Speaker is interesting. It's got a nifty effect, but it's very hard to utilize well, particularly in Arena. Recombobulator, on the other hand, I kind of like this card. It's just a solid 2-drop sometimes. Other times the Battlecry can be a heal or can upgrade kind of techie cards like an Acolyte of Pain or something into a better body. So there's a lot more value in my mind in Recombobulator than the other two options. Okay, Spawn of N'Zoth. I think this is a little bit too low statted for a 3-drop. Worgen Infiltrator's fine. It's good to get out on the board on turn 1 and contest a 2-mana minion that has 2 health, and it can't be pinged off by like a mage. But I actually kind of like Cone of Cold. Freeze effects can be powerful sometimes with mage because there are instances where you can just lock down their board and push for damage. And it can also set up stuff like pings to 2 health minions, and in general it just has some utility as a pseudo area of effect ability. Lord of the Arena's not great, just too weak for 6 mana at 5 health. Grimscale Oracle's awful, and Harvest Golem's a pretty solid 3-drop, so that's an easy choice. Shieldbearer's terrible. Ironforge Rifleman is pretty bad. Sometimes the Battlecry can help some classes, but Mage does have the hero power already to ping. So we'll go ahead and take the Mech Warper. We actually do have a mech, so there's already some synergies showing up here. But also it's just a 2-mana minion that's got 2/3 in health, so that's fine. Captured Droremonger's an okay card. Pretty solid actually for a 7-drop. It's just got good stats. It trades really well. Murloc Raider, not the best ever. Mana Worm, on the other hand, can be pretty solid. If you have any spells to make this thing better, it gets good very quickly. And having a 1-drop sometimes is also just really nice. Okay, this one's a little tough for me. I like Mechanical Yeti quite a bit, just good stats. The spare parts tend to benefit Mage more than any other class, particularly with things like Mana Worm. We also do have Mech Warper, so there's like kind of a mech theme happening here with the Mechanical Yeti. Twilight Flamecaller also feels decent. AoEs are good. We already have Cone of Cold. This can be comboed with like a Flame Strike to do just wreck the enemy board and set up pings as well with your hero power. But I also like Nerubian Prophet. This is sometimes just a 3-mana 4/4 or a really free, cheap tempo card later on. If you can play it for like 0 or 1 mana, you get a really good body out of it. So this is tough. I guess I'm going to commit to mechs. I don't think it'll work out. It's hard to make Mech Warper work, but there is a world where you can play Mech Warper into Mechanical Yeti on turn 3, and since it's a solid minion anyway, and the spare part might help with like the Mana Worm, I say why not? Oh, this draft is definitely leading me down a path, isn't it? Silent Knight's a fine card. The Divine Shield is pretty good. Raid Leader's relatively weak. The stats just aren't good. Unlike Silent Knight, it can't hide behind the Divine Shield and Stealth to be good. But we're going to take the Cogmaster, right? Because we have mechs. This is bad. Cogmaster's not a good card, I don't think, personally. It's usually a 1-2, which isn't very exciting on turn 1. But since we do have a few mechs, we're going to make it work. Here, Grimscale Oracle's still awful. Aberrant Berserker is probably okay, particularly in Mage, where you can ping to Enrage. Frostwolf Warlord can also be good. You usually have 1 or 2 minions down. It's kind of a bad top deck in the late game, but I'm actually going to take the Warlord here and see what we can do. Ogre Brute's a fine 3-drop, but not great. Boulder Fist Ogre's a great 6-drop, but I'm going to take the... maybe I'm not going to take the Flame Caller here. Maybe we take the Ogre just to get another solid body. No, I think the Flame Caller's all upside. It's just having AoEs is very powerful. Alarmobot's pretty awful. Demented Frost Caller, we just don't have enough spell consistency in Arena. Like, we only have 1 spell right now, so we don't know for sure that it's going to be any good because the stats are very punishing. Unlike the Mana Worm, which still has good stats for a 1-drop, Demented Frost Caller has terrible stats for a 4-drop. I think we'll take the Servant of Yogg-Saron here. The spell can punish you just as much as your opponent, but it's the best body for its stats probably here and has the most potential. This is a mech, I should note, but not a good mech and not a valuable one. So, Shatter is way too hard to pull off in Arena. Stone Skin Gargoyle is just bad. It's hard to make it work. Gnomish Inventor, on the other hand, is card draw and not my favorite Arena card, but probably the best of that individual set. So we'll take it. Grotesque Dragonhawk is hard to work with. 7 mana is very expensive for 5 health. Unstable Ghoul can be okay, but we're going to have stuff out early, I think, given our hand. So we don't want to punish our own board, right? So Raging Worgen is good with Mage because you can ping to activate it yourself, which is pretty nice. Here, Windfury Harpies, much like Grotesque Dragonhawk, hard to work with. Spiteful Smith is good, but we don't have weapons. So essentially Spiteful Smith is a worse Pit Fighter in this instance, and since we did get offered Pit Fighter, that'll be a fine choice. This is a bad draw. These are all pretty subpar in my mind. Maiden of the Lake, just 2 attack is just not enough on turn 4, really. Amgam Rager, we don't have any like buffs or anything to make this good. So I guess we'll take the Bloodfin Raptor, even though we're pretty sad about it. Here, Wisp is awful. Zealous Initiate is okay, I think. A little risky, but okay. But Sorcerer's Apprentice is a great 2-drop. We want to have a good early curve. We don't have a lot of spells to benefit, but it's just the best stats there and probably the best overall card. I would like at least a couple more mechs. We went pretty hard in Cogmaster, right? So I want like 2 more mechs at least to make that worth it. But so far, no luck. These are all pretty weak cards. Lance Carrier is like a worse Abusive Sergeant. Rarely do you need the 2 attack to be permanent. So Abusive Sergeant's cheaper with better stat allocations and a basically identical effect. So 2 mana for a 1/2 is rough. Silvermoon Guardian is okay. Divine Shields are fine. I guess we'll end up taking it because Faceless Behemoth is just too slow. If you commit 10 mana and your opponent can just ignore it, basically, and it can only trade into 1 or 2 things at a time. So if they have a lot of small minions, Faceless Behemoth just doesn't do anything. If it had Taunt, obviously, it'd be much better because that would force their hand. Oh my gosh, I just accidentally clicked it. Oh, I just accidentally clicked it. Oh, I was trash talking it and fiddling and I accidentally clicked it. Okay, so we got a Faceless Behemoth. Hopefully it'll get some value for us. I wasn't that excited about either of the other cards anyway, so no big deal. I wish you could undo a choice. Forgotten Torch is actually solid, I think. But we have quite a few. Well, we have 3 3-drops. It's not a ton. Water Ellie is such a good card. I don't think I can pass up Water Elemental. Magma Rager is obviously terrible. I would still like a couple mechs and a couple spells, to tell you the truth. So we have some spell synergies, right, with Sorcerers and Mana Worm, but we only have one spell right now. I don't think I want another Servant. We have some good 5-drops. I don't want the Demented Frost Color still. But Effigy is okay with the spell. It can sometimes get you some value, especially on stuff like the Twilight Flame Caller. Tentacle of N'Zoth is actually not bad in Mage because you can activate it yourself to do AoE. We kind of have a couple AoE effects with the Flame Caller and the Cone of Cold. Anubis' Sentinel is okay, but hard to get off. I think I'm just going to take the card draw here. It's also a spell, and card draw is not a bad thing to have, right? Okay, so this is a pretty easy choice. Target Dummy's awful. Mana Addict is hard to work with. Flame Waker is also kind of hard to work with in Arena, just because, again, spells don't come all that often or consistently, but it's got the best stats here, and it's just the best minion, so really no dilemma there. Okay, so we could take a big minion here, the War Golem or the Corehound, but they're both really not very exciting. The Chillwind Yeti, on the other hand, is just a good 4-drop. We have some 4s already, but it doesn't hurt to have more. On turn 6, you can still play the Yeti and feel okay about it. Duplicate. Do we have anything we can duplicate that will make us happy? Not really. Nothing super good that's like, we gotta duplicate that. It is a spell. Earthring Farseer is solid. It's a heal. Heals can be very powerful, but again, is the AoE just better? I don't know that it is. We need, well, we have 3/3-drops that we can play. A couple 3-mana spells. I'm just trying to think about which one gets more value in the late game. If we top deck a Twilight Flame Caller, is that better than top decking a Farseer? We already have one, so I think I'm going to take the better body and the heal. You never know when a heal for 3, either on your face or a minion, can do just tons of work. Here we'll take the North Sea Kraken. Weblord's bad. We've already got some card draw options with No Mission, Arcane Intellect. I really only want one big guy. We accidentally took the Faceless Behemoth. So we'll have 2 big guys, but it's okay. A 6 or 7-drop really wouldn't hurt too much. Here, I like Stranglethorn Tiger a lot. It's a good minion. We have some good 5s, though. Spellslinger is actually a great card in this deck in particular. It's a good body for 3. We have multiple ways to benefit from the spell it gives us. So we'll go ahead and take the Spellslinger here. I do want a couple more 2-drops, though, by the way. We only have 4 right now. With a couple 1-drops, we might actually be okay. There's a lot of 1-drops here. I don't want this many, honestly. Refreshment Vendor. I really don't want to heal my opponent, although we don't have a ton of burst damage yet, do we? We don't have any Frostbolts or Fireballs, so may not hurt that much. But how many 4-drops do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, and a spell. One of them's conditional, though. Yeah, I think since we don't have burst and we do have some late game, I might actually take the heal here. I just don't want to commit to another 1-drop. These cards are not exciting at all. Hungry Dragon is okay, but it can really punish you sometimes with the 1-drop you summon for them. So they tend to get more value than you do from the extra stats. So if this was like a Chillwind Yeti, it'd be a 4/5. So on average, they get more than 1/1 in return. So it's sometimes difficult to imagine this being good. Eldritch Horror is much like Faceless Behemoth. It's just really slow. Enthrallmar, Farseer. We have a lot of 3-drops already, even though a couple are spells. So we don't need that. I think I'll take the Eldritch Horror, but it's just really slow. I'm nervous that we have too much late game. But we have a lot of 4s as well, so I don't really need the Hungry Dragon. Dragonhawk's hard to work with. Raid Leader's bad. Frost Elemental is a 6-drop, and we don't have any, but we really just don't need any late game at this point at all. Ugh, this is a bad set of cards. We got the mirror here. All we're missing is the Ice Rager. I don't want any of these. Honestly, Ice Barrier is just... it's just a heal 8. It's not exciting at all. I mean, I guess it has some synergies with our deck. Can we do anything with Amgam Rager? Like buff it or... Not really. Ugh. This is just awful. I guess we're going to take Ice Barrier, even though it's just a terrible card in Arena in my mind. This is another tough set of cards. Man. Twilight Drake is okay, but again, we've got a lot of 4s. We really want some 2s. Ethereal Arcanist is hard to... We've got a couple secrets, but it's still hard to get it to work. Because you never know when you're going to draw the secrets. If they come on time, if you've got the mana. It's just... in best case scenario, usually it's a 4-mana 5/5, right? Occasionally, sure, it'll turn into 7/7 or whatever. But that's so rare and so inconsistent. There's another effigy good. Probably not, because if we play some of the effigies, we just will never have time to get actual minions onto the board. We don't have, like, taunts either to force the effigies. Like, taunts are great to force effigies. You have, like, a Sunwalker or something. This is a really difficult choice. Twilight Drake is just so inconsistent as well. I mean, it's usually like a 4/3 for 4. It's just never that good. If it is good, it means you've fallen behind in the early game so much that you're probably losing anyway. And you don't have any way to force them into this with, like, Defender of Argus or Sunfury Protector or something to give it taunt. So I guess I'm going to take another effigy against all of my instincts. Ugh, 3 drops. We don't need 3s. We need 2s, Arena. No mechs either. What happened to all our mechs? I'm kind of salty about no mechs. I'm going to take the Questing Adventurer as a late game card. We have stuff like Spellslinger, Mechanical Yeti, which can give us really cheap spells. Plus, it's actually kind of good with Recombobulator and even Effigy. If it's a threat, if they think it's a threat and they are forced to kill it, then we might get extra value out of it. Saboteur's good, and Master's good too. They're actually probably better cards in general. But we have so many 3-mana things already that I'm not trying to get a good 3-mana card. I'm trying to get like a good 7-mana card, right? So Questing Adventure can essentially scale better than those other cards into something valuable. So okay, here's our draft. Designed to be, or at least intended to be a Mech Mage, but we didn't get any mechs. We just got the 2, I guess 3 mechs, and 1 mech synergy card. Really about secrets here. 3 secrets is unusual. Pretty weird draft, honestly. I don't feel good about it. Too many 3s and not enough 2s. Only 4 real 2-drops gives us some real risk on turn 2. Real risk. So we'll have to mulligan pretty well to be successful, I think. Also, these 3 cards, we really don't need the Horror or the Behemoth. I would trade those in a heartbeat for more 2-drops. But we just didn't get them in the draft. We ran out of time. Weren't offered what we needed. So we'll call this probably the Mechanical Mage. It's not a Mech Mage. We didn't make it to Mech Mage territory, but we do have the Mechanical Yeti. So it's a Mechanical Mage. We'll see how that goes. But now that we've drafted, let's go ahead and jump into a couple of games and try our best to win with secrets and 3-drops and no AoE. Yeah, that's the real... We didn't get any Flame Strikes or Blizzard, of course. No Fireballs or Frostbolts offered. That's rough as a mage. Like, this is not how you want to play mage. I like to have some reach and some direct damage. We don't have any of that. So we have to rely on minions and tricky stuff, and unfortunately, we don't have a smooth enough curve or consistent enough gimmicks like the mechs or the spells to really do anything. So I don't feel good about the deck at all. I think this is a 3-win deck. But I'd love to be wrong. So I'm looking at the 4-drop. We got a 1-2, so keeping a 4 probably wasn't crazy, but as I said, I want to make sure I have consistent plays here. I'll probably recombobulate this, and I'll attack and then recombobulate, unless I see a spell. A legend arena player, cool. See, if we got the coin, that'd be pretty sick, but we do not have the coin, do we? Yeah, we'll recombobulate, because right now it dies for free. It may still die for free after we recombobulate, but there's a chance, yeah, it goes to 2. So he may have to ping trade now, which actually does put us a little ahead. He could trade and play another 2-drop, but if it's a 2-health 2-drop, he's going to be in trouble. If he does play a 3-health 2-drop, I'll play the Farseer. If he plays a 2-health 2-drop, I'll play the Questing. If he pings, I'll still play the Questing. There's a chance this becomes a 3-3 pretty quickly. I could maybe even freeze his board to protect to this a little while. He might feel compelled to Frostbolt, which still allows me to get ahead on the board. It's pretty good, dude. It's pretty good. Is that worth freezing? Just to make this a 3-3? I don't think so. If I froze it, I might have time to make this into like a 5-5, for instance, right? But I don't think it's worth it. He can still trade here, and we can ping and heal, or whatever. Play a Chillin' Yeti. We could do something next turn, so no reason for trickery. This might hold up 3 or 4 minions later, or kill something valuable. So we'll save that resource. I really would have rather played the Yeti than the Gnomish, but we didn't get the Yeti until the Gnomish drew. I like this card better late and not as much early. He's trading that way and leaving this alive. That seems incredibly risky. We're going to go ahead and exploit his decision as well.
Quest accepted.
He could fireball this, and then I'll regret going face, but if he doesn't have a way to deal with it, the next turn I can ping and trade this way and heal it. And I can't heal it now, so I'm afraid if I do it now, he might have like the Frostbolt or whatever. So this is slightly increasing the chance that the questing adventurer actually lives. Also, if I draw a mech, I might be able to make a cooler trade. I don't know. Probably not. Mech, Twilight dude might do it. That's pretty good. So I can ping heal Spellslinger. I could also just make this a 7/7. Yeah, I think the ping heal is actually still better. He'll be able to kill this with the ping. Oh no, he won't either. It's a 6/6. He actually can't. He needs something else to kill it. Alright, so this guy has gotten just ridiculous value. He can fireball. That'll kill it too. It's pretty good. But still, ridiculous value. We killed a 4-drop, a 2-drop, and did 5 face damage. So we feel pretty good about that. We'll Spellslinger first, and then... I think I'll Mech Warper and trade ping just to stay ahead on the board. Thought about playing the Yeti, but it traded too cleanly for that thing. Yeah, that's a fine spell. Kills something probably. We don't really care about the heal, but it'll work. It's not the worst spell. We're way behind on card advantage here. I don't know how he has so many cards. I guess he pinged a lot. Probably Mirror Entity, but we don't know. Could be a counterspell. I don't have a good Mirror Entity proc, unfortunately. I may have to give him a good minion. I'll go this way first. So it's not duplicate. Let's test for vaporize. Nope. So it's definitely mirror entity. I guess I gotta do it now. I can't give him the Kraken, so I don't have anything cheap to throw away. It's gonna happen sooner or later, and I might want to Kraken next turn. Could have gave him the Pit Fighter too, but alright, he's gonna trade this way. No, he'll trade this way. Kraken really is not very good into the 5 health Yeti, honestly. Might have to wait. Depends on how he trades. If he trades this way, we'll do it. Or that way, either way, whatever. Is he planning a Flame Strike? If he trades this way, he's got to be planning like Flame Strike. I don't know why he'd ever trade that way.
Mind if I roll need?
That's what I would expect him to do. So we'll probably just ping Pit Fighter. We can't afford an effigy, unfortunately. We probably don't want to anyway because that's still alive. So Flame Strike ping is really not even good here anymore. He has a good deck. He's gotten a lot better cards than us. Rather have Mirror Entity than the effigies. Love a Blizzard. It's pretty good. I can pop that off with the Kraken or a ping. So maybe I'll just do this. Mechanical Yeti, effigy, ping. He'll trade here, obviously, and leave that at 1 health, which is fine because I'm a mage. But it'll also summon a new 4-drop for me. So that'll be alright. Maybe we'll get something good.
Give me a quest.
He's got one too. It's pretty funny. It's not a good card. Depending on how many times he's able to activate it, this might be annoying. It's just an awful 4-drop to get. What an awful minion to get. Because he probably won't be able to trade it in the adventure. I may have to just sack it into that guy, which will feel terrible. I mean, a 3-mana 2/5 is really not even that exciting. That's what we paid for the effigy. Oh, that's going to be good for our Kraken. I hope he runs out of mana and I can trade and Kraken here. No, I'll have to Kraken and trade this way. That's fine too, though. We'll be ahead on the board quite a bit. Yeah, I have to kill that. It's just my Kraken might die to it way too easily otherwise. I hate sending a 2/5 into a 5/1. So what? Say what? So this is actually a pretty fun play. We'll go ahead and taunt this up, just in case he can't deal with it and this has to attack into it. And then we have lethal too showing, so. If he can't deal with this 2/3, we might just win. It's kind of gimmicky, but how are you supposed to deal with this crap? Oh, that's slow. That's good for us. He's looking for a way to kill this, right? But there's a very low chance he drew 3 cards, but it's all the same card, so he still only had a 1 in 12 chance to draw whatever he's looking for. Ah, nice, it worked. It worked. I don't think we deserved to win that, but it worked. I like it. He had so many more cards than us. Cool. Let's play another one. In part 1 here of our Mechanical Mage. A mech won us the game. Actually, the Mechanical Yeti won us the game. The spare part? I love it. Mechanical Mage is the right name for sure. The spare part from the Mechanical Yeti gave us the taunt, and the Harvest Golem stopped Deathwing in his tracks. That meager little Harvest Golem stopped the Dragon Lord himself. in his tracks.
You asked for it.
Okay, we'll keep the Flamewaker as a 3. I know there's a couple spells, and you're like, oh, Flamewaker spells are good, but we definitely still need the 1 and 2 drops. And we have the coin, so we may have a Flamewaker play no matter what. Cogmaster Mechanical Yeti, that's happening. A Mana Worm would actually be a pretty sick draw. I would Mana Worm, coin, Cogmaster. Probably in a heartbeat. We'll go ahead and play this since it actually contests this thing. Probably coin out a 3-drop if we don't get a 2-drop. I know I'd like to save the coin for the Flamewaker, but it's really more important that I get ahead on the board, I think. And I have 2 3-drops, so coining out a 3-drop is actually fine. I'll take it. Puts us ahead on the board. Oh, actually, we'll just do this. And then Flamewaker coin might be good. Raging Worgen might be good. We'll just see. The coin should cost -1 mana because of this. And give us a mana. That's fine. Probably just trade there. Yeah, we'll do this. I'm actually going to coin out the Yeti. I have another 4-drop. This gives me a spare part, which might be good with the Flamewaker. I want to get the bigger minion out first. Because I'm ahead. If I can keep him, keep his board clear basically the rest of the game, be in a pretty good spot. Oh! That's a pretty sick play. Man, the upgraded Keeper is actually really good. I'll play this guy. These, unfortunately, both die to that single minion. That's a sick play. The Yeti with the strong battlecry, dude. It's really good. I thought him losing his turn 2 to that spell was bad, but that was a good enough pickup that it actually... he kind of made it worth it, right? Oh, he left my minions. That's going to give me a good 5/5 here. We don't need to trade. We can't really do anything if we do. I said a good 5/5. I think I meant a good 5 mana 6/6. Secrets, man! Look at all these secrets. He's out of cards though. Cone of Cold's actually pretty good against that giant thing he just did. I was kind of hoping to save it with the Flamewaker, but I guess I need to test. That's probably Avenge and Noble Sacrifice. So we're actually going to do this first, even though it might look wrong. Yeah. So not Avenge. Must be Competitive Spirit, probably. So now do I have to Cone of Cold? Yeah, I guess I still have to Cone of Cold. Is there any other way? Can I let that live? It'll be a 9/10. Could kill this and see what I get. Yeah, I'm actually gonna do that because I have to do the damage to it anyway eventually, right? So if I get the freeze or the taunt, for instance, if I taunt this, oh, repentance. Oh, okay. Well, that's actually not that big of a deal. So this is very bad to consecration, I realize, after the fact, because of that stupid repentance. But if the taunt holds here, which we just pulled this trick off, right? We literally just did this. We're in a pretty good spot. That's a pretty good way to clear the taunt. He's gonna go face though because he's greedy, which is wrong. He should probably not go face. He's just giving me way too much stuff here. Really? Really? I'm going to start going face. I can probably kill that next turn. I don't see how he clears my board. If he somehow clears my board and that is alive, I'm going to regret this desperately. But for now, I'm okay. Still okay. I think I have to ping trade. Oh, oh yeah, I can. Never mind. Thought I was in trouble for a second. I freaked out, but I'm good. And then I'll just play dudes. These are the sturdiest dudes. The freeze could be good on his face. Double Blessing of Kings wins him the game, I guess. That would be pretty rough to see. That's good, because that's low mana. It's kind of annoying, actually. Just gonna have a lot of dudes roaming around. We'll test for the Noble Sack. If it's Avenge, I'm gonna feel pretty bad. It's not Avenge. So I got a ping. That's 2 mana. Can I play something for 7 mana? This guy's maybe good, but he's kind of scary because he could like fireball my face, right? So I don't think I can risk that just yet. We're gonna go here, and I'm actually not gonna ping that one just yet because I think that's Competitive Spirit. And oh, it could be this too, though. We'll see. Oh, that's... Yeah, it's another Repentance. Cool, okay. Played the... Well, I guess it wouldn't have mattered which one got Repentance. It's exactly the same. I technically played the worst minion, but... The stealth here might actually matter for lethal. We have quite a bit of damage. Another secret. This dude's just top decking secrets all day. I think he has to start trading now. My heal really might have disrupted his plans. All these secrets. His deck is just too thin. He gets no value every turn. So we have 10 damage. We'll test... actually, it might be Avenge first. So yeah, we'll test that first. Oh, it's that one. Oh. I'll go this way. Freeze his weapon out. And play these dudes. I think we can't die now. He has to attack our face. I think we just win the game, right? We've got 9 damage showing. Actually, it's 8 damage here with a ping next turn, so. That won't do it. That will not do it. That won't do it either. I'm actually going to do this. This could go really south, but I want to see what we get. Ah, cool. That would have been pretty good if that had happened earlier. But we never know. We couldn't risk it with 8 health. Pyroblast. Oh, I can't Pyroblast. It has to be 5 or less mana. But could have fireballed us still and put us in a rough spot. Okay, so the Mechanical Mage, shenanigans are afoot, and we've actually gone 2-0 somehow. Maybe it's not that bad, but I still don't have high hopes. Once we start hitting more difficult matchups, I think this deck will fail pretty quickly. Just too many gimmicks, not enough consistency, and an awkward mana curve as well. So that'll wrap it up for part 1. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time with part 2 of the Mechanical Mage, game on.